Hello students. So today we will solve a numerical from compression member, and this question is selected from the book of S.K. Duggal, Design of Steel Structure, and you can see it from the book also. Now there is two type of numerical. First one is the section will be given and the design load carrying capacity you have to find. Okay, and in second type, the design load which should be carried that will be given, and you have to find the required cross sections. Okay, so let us start the numerical. So first thing is that you have to read carefully the question. The question is calculate the design compressive load for stanchion 350 at the rate of 710.2 Newton per meter, and it is 3.5 meter high. Column is restrained in directions and position at both the ends. It is to be used as an uncased column in a single story building. Use steel of grade Fe410. So first line, calculate the design compressive load for stanchion 350 at the rate 710.2. What is this? So this is nothing but the section. Okay, so this section is basically ISHB 350, ISHB 350, and at the rate of 710. That means this is nothing but the weight per meter length. So this is a I section. So if you take 1 meter sample of this I section, the total weight of this 1 meter sample will be 710. So you can now, after this, you can get the detailed property from the steel table. Okay, so let us go to the steel table. In steel table, you can see there are different sections mentioned here. Indian standard angle sections. So we need Indian standard heavy beam. Okay, so here you can see this I section, rolled steel I section beams, and it is ISHB 350, and you can see this is 710.2. You can see here this is the designation weight per meter, so it is in kg and it is in Newton. Sectional area is given, then depth of the section is given, then thickness of wave is given, thickness of flange is given, and moment of inertia about these two axes. There is two axes, so this is x axis and this is y axis, vertical axis. So about two axes the moment of inertia is given, and about two axes radius of gyration is given, rx and ry. Rx is nothing but our rz. Actually we have considered these axes as the z axis, so this x is nothing but the z axis in our case. So and this is ry. Okay, so here you can see other properties also mentioned here, so that is not required for this case. Okay, so now our task is to just write this property. That means this total area is 92.21 centimeter square. Okay, and this radius of gyration RZZ is 14.65, this is 5.22, and this thickness of wave is given 10.1 maybe, and the thickness of flange it is 11.6. You can write these properties in your numerical. Okay, now let us go to the numerical. So here you can see the properties of ISHB 350 at the rate 710.2 Newton per meter are as follows. Okay, H is mentioned, BF is mentioned, TF, TW, area and radius of gyration. Now why this property is required? Because in last video lecture you might have seen that there are four different class or different curve. So to select a particular different curve we need to classify the sections, right? So how can we classify the sections? So it is mentioned in table 10, I hope. So in table 10 you can see buckling class of cross section. So here it is, there are limits, so H, BF, TF. So if we don't know these H, BF, TF, how can we classify these different sections, right? So H by BF should be written in the numerical, so that's why these properties are required. And now after this, so first thing is that we have to select the particular buckling class. So buckling class can be classified by these buckling class of cross sections. So these are our case. In our case it is rolled steel I section, so we have to select this cross section only. Then here the limits are here, this one and this one. Okay, so we have to find this h by bf. If it is more than 1.2, then we have to go for this part, and if it is coming in this that means if the h by bf is less than equal to 1.2, we have to select this one. Okay, now let us go to the numerical. H by VF is equal to 1.4, so it is more than 1.2, and TF is 11.6. So let us check. So it is more than 1.2, right? So it will be this case. Okay, this case. Now if TF is less than 40, then this one, and if it is more than 40, then this one. Okay, right. So in our case it is less than 40, so we have to go for this case, right? So for to find the design strength about this z-axis, we have to go with this class A. If we want to find the buckling strength or the column strength about y-axis, we have to go with the class B. Okay, now let us go back to the numerical. So now we can see the buckling curve to be designed along z axis will be curve A, and about y-axis it is buckling curve P, right? It is taken from the table 10 IS 800. Okay, so now you can see this RZ and RY. Okay, so in this RZ and RY, you can see there is RZ is more and RY is less. So what is the role of this radius of gyration? So it will help you to find out the slenderness ratio, that means KL by R. Okay, so you will get two slenderness ratio for two directions, about z axis, about y axis. So KL by RZ and KL by RY. So as the RY is less, that means slenderness ratio about y axis will be more than the z axis. That means if the column has to fail, it will fail by y axis first. Okay, because it is more slender about y axis. So to find the design strength for this section, you can only find this strength about the z axis, because sorry, y axis, because this ry will give you the most critical case, because KL by ry will be more than this KL by rz. Okay, so if it is more, that means it will be giving you the most critical case, right? So you can only find this strength about this y-axis, but in this numerical they have found the strength for the two axes for better understanding of this numerical, right? So as I have already told you, there are different procedures to solve this numerical. Now let us understand the first process, that is using the design curve on table. So design compressive stress using table. So first one is using the tables only, right? So which table? That is this one, table 9. Okay, so you can see there are table 9, 9A, 9B, 9C and 9D. So 9A is for buckling class A, 9B is for buckling class B, and 9C is for buckling class C, and 9D is for buckling class D. Now what we can do, we can okay we can find, we can use this buckling or this table to find this FCD. Okay, after finding this FCD, you can multiply with area and you will get the total load carrying capacity of the section. Now to use this table, what is needed, that is the yield stress of the section or the steel and the scale by R. So as we know, we have two directions, z direction and y direction, so we will have two slenderness ratios. So we have to find this ratio KL by R first, then we have to use this table. So about y-axis, lambda y is equal to KL by Ry. So k is equal to 0.65. How can you get this k equal to 0.65? It will be from the effective length factor. So you can get it from table 11. Okay, it will be in page number 45. So here you can see there are different boundary conditions, and for different cases the effective length factor is different. So in question you can read the question first. So it is mentioned that the column is restrained in directions and position. Direction means rotation is fixed and position means translation is fixed, so it cannot move and it cannot rotate. That means everything is restrained. So after that you can see here in this table, it is for one end, it is for second another end. So translation, rotation, translation, rotation. So here everything is restrained. That means we have to select this one. So for this case it is 0.65 L. So this K is equal to 0.65. So right. So now K is equal to 0.65. Then length is equal to 3.5 meters. So in millimeter it is converted, and this radius of gyration it is also in millimeter. So it is 43.58. So and steel grade is Fe410, and the yield strength is equal to yield strength is equal to 250 Newton per millimeter square. Okay. So now, so as we get this ZZ axis, this line, that means ZZ axis, the curve will be A. About Y axis, buckling curve will be B. Okay, and so we are finding the strength about Y axis. So for Y axis the buckling curve will be B. So we have to go to the table 9, buckling curve B, right? Because for Y axis buckling curve will be B. So we will go to the table 9b, and we have to find the FCD for this ratio and this strength. Okay, now so here you can see this is our grade of steel, yield stress, and here you can see this is the range. You can see 40 and 50. So our value is 43.58, so it will be in between this 40 and 50, right? So this will be in between this. Okay, so we have to find the design stress, okay, design compressive stress FCD for 43.58. So for 40 it is 206, so for 50 it is 194. So when the ratio is increasing, it is decreasing. So I hope you can do the interpolation part, and you will get this value. FCD is equal to 201.70 Newton per millimeter square. So after getting this, you can understand that the load carrying capacity is equal to PD is equal to area into FCD. So area, you know, area from this we have already mentioned this area. So 92.21 centimeter square, so it is 9221 millimeter square. So we have to just multiply this area and FCD. Okay, so in 10 to the power minus 3, so it is in kilonewton. So this is the answer about y-axis. So if so, for this column the strength about y-axis will be 1859.87 Newton kilonewton. So about ZZ axis, what is the strength? So the ZZ axis buckling curve will be A, right? So we have to use curve number 9B, so table number 9A, sorry 9A. So ZZ axis curve A, so 9A. So 9A, that means this one. So here you can see this is our grade of yield stress, not the grade. Grade is equal to Fe410, and the ratio is, you can see ZZ axis lambda z equal to KL by RZ. So you have to select the RZ one here. So it is coming 15.529. So for this value we have to find the FCD from this table. Okay, 15. So it will be in between this range. So the strength will be within this range. Okay, so for 10 it is 227, for 20 it is 226. So for 15.53 you have to find the answer. So it will be in between these 226 and 227. So you have to do the interpolation here also to find the design compressive load FCD about z-axis. So they have got 226.447. So design compressive strength is equal to area into FCD. So they have got this 2088. That means you can see here the ZZ axis, the load carrying capacity is more than the YY axis. Why? Because about Z axis, the radius of gyration is more. That means the slenderness ratio is less. Here you can see the slenderness ratio is 43.58. It is more slender about Y axis than the Z axis. So the strength will be less. The strength will be less for this Y axis. So it is 1859.87 kilonewton and it is 2088, right? So this is one process. You can select this process in your numerical solution. And next is using the equation.
As we know, the equation that is mentioned in IS 800. So this is the equation. So FCD is equal to this. So here you know what is phi, what is lambda. So equations are given. So just you have to find the phi lambda for two directions, and you have to find the answer. Okay. So let us look at this numerical. So first is about y axis. So about y axis, buckling curve will be B, that is from the this line. About y axis, the buckling curve will be B. So now uh, and in this equation you see, in this equation we have to find for alpha y and lambda y. So what is alpha y? That is 0.5 within third bracket 1 plus alpha into this. Okay, so alpha is the imperfection factor. That means it is not the ideal case. Same. So as I have explained in my theoretical derivation, so this alpha you can get from the uh, table number 7. Okay, so table number 7 maybe in the, so it is table 6. So table 7 is here. So table 7 is here. So for in this table, for different buckling class, the alpha is given here. Okay, you have to select the alpha, and then you have to find the lambda y. Lambda y you can find this from the equation, this equation. Okay, so you know KL by RY. Okay, because ry will be used because you are dealing with the y axis. Okay, so let us go back to the numerical. Here you can see lambda y is equal to this. So KL by ry, KL is equal to same as the previous part. Okay, here ry is 52.2 millimeter. Simply put the values and get the answer lambda y. So lambda y is this. So using this lambda y, find phi y. Okay, that is this. So it is 0.669. Then just put the values in this equation FCD, and then directly get the answer FCD. Okay, now this design compressive strength is equal to PD AE into FCD, right? So AE, you know, FCD is also this amount. So just multiply this and 10 to the power minus 3, so in kilonewton, so you will get the answer. Okay, now about ZZ axis. So buckling class is B, as already mentioned in the first part. Okay, so imperfection factor for buckling class A you have to see from table 7, and using this after alpha, you just have to find this lambda z for z axis, and then phi z, and you will see that phi z in this phi z, this lambda z is how much? This lambda z is equal to 0.2, but what you got here, it is 0.175. So here the interesting thing is that the lambda y, or lambda value of lambda, that means non-dimensional slenderness ratio, should be at least more than 2 or more or equal to 2. Why? Because if you see this table or graph, sorry, this one, so this value is equal to the 0.2 here. Okay, and before this line, this is for short column, this is for long column. So as we are considering the buckling stress, buckling load carrying capacity, using the buckling sorry, I mean to say, we are finding the strength considering the buckling failure, buckling behavior also. So we have to ensure that lambda should be minimum 0.02, at least this amount. Okay, so that's why when you get this lambda which is less than 0.2, you have to minimum use you have to use minimum 0.2 here at in case of lambda z. Okay, so there's then phi z is equal to 0.52, and then just put the value of phi in this equation and get the answer 227.2, and here 2095. So you can see here the strength is 2095 for z-axis, but in the previous method we have got 20588. Okay, so near about same. So in these two methods, using these two methods or three methods, you will get some different answer, but more or less this will be in the same range. Okay, so every answer is correct, so don't worry about it. So now you can see this fz, sorry, this load carrying capacity of z-axis is 2095, and here it is 1863. So again here you can see the y-axis is becoming the weaker. Okay, now in the third method, what you can do, you can use this part only. So this stress reduction factor into fy by gamma m0. So this stress reduction factor can be found from the table 8. It is already mentioned. Okay, if you use this equation to find, then the same procedure, it becomes the same procedure. So you can use this table 8 for the third part. Okay, same numerical third method. So uh, let us go to the table 8. So you can see there are four tables: 8a, 8b, 8c, 8d, for different class of buckling. Okay, now we can see our for z-axis, for z-axis your buckling curve is a, for y it is b. Okay, so we have to go to a for z-axis, and for y-axis you have to select this table number 8b. Okay, so how can we use this table? So here you can see in this table, in this stress reduction factor table, you can see that there is a stress, that is yield stress, and here there is KL by R. Okay, so you have to see what is your KL by R, and you have to again do the interpolation method. Okay, as you can see, in the example, uh, they have selected here, that is KL by RY. Okay, that is 43.58. So if I am going to if I want to find the strength about y-axis, then KL by RY should be selected, and that is 43.58, and for curve B you should select 8B. Simple, 8B. So this is 43.58, so that means in this zone, and it is 250 yield stress. So here it is this, right? So for your 43.58, it will be in between 0.096 and 0.855. So you have to find the particular answer for that particular slenderness ratio, and just simply multiply with this fy by gamma m0 and that interpolated value. Okay, so that is here they have got 0.88887, and so fct is equal to, simply from this equation, this stress reduction factor into fy by gamma m0, just multiply this, so you will get the fct about y-axis. So same thing will be carried out for z-axis. Okay, and after finding this fct, you know how to find the load carrying capacity, that is multiplying by the area. Okay, so these are the three methods. I hope everything is very clear, because and these methods are very simple, and it is very easy to do the solution. Okay, thank you very much.